So just kind of loosen up a little bit. Just do some twisting motion. And take a long stance. You can lift the heel if you want, and just kind of like stretch right here. Just kind of this way. Now, if you arch your back, you can feel it stretch. But if you tighten your stomach like you do when you crunch, you're going to tilt your pelvis forward this way, and then do that. You feel it stretches even more. And you can do the other side too. Start with a crunch and then stretch it. You can just grab one leg and just stretch it once, just like it. Just light stretches when you're cold, like this, right? All right, good. You just start kicking low and loose. You just go a little high, about knee high now. And waist high. All right, good. Let's get into Shukokai. Just stretch a little bit first. Away. And just kind of get down and hold it there for a little while. Yeah, just fold your arms. Try not to rest on your knees. Keep those knees bent. Bend them. Go down. Okay, just a short pulse up and down. All right, good. Just stretch again. Stretching the hamstrings. All right, so just slide in and just punch. Ready? Go. Eight. 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 Okay, other side. Just think about the hand doing this on the way back. It helps to kind of get the flow, smoothness. Ready? Eight. 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 All right, good. Okay, now it's always Zuki, step in and punch, right? Ready? Go. Eight. 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 All right, good. Other side. Just make sure that when you do your step over, don't go negative to the shoulder. Don't let the shoulder go back before you punch. A lot of us want to wind up to get more power, right? It's a negative motion. It's easy to see. It slows you down, right? So from here, as you go, just bring this whole side forward. bring it forward in the clutch, right? Ready, eight, 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 eight. Good, okay. So, you're gonna warm your legs up a little bit. Just be careful. Dan, just be careful with this. You know, warmed up right. I don't want to do anything to the Achilles. So what I want you to do is just gonna slide back and forth this way. You see how when I go back, this foot comes as well, right? So I get kind of a. Right? So just do some of those kind of lightly. You can go back and forth this way. It's gonna build up some strength in your back leg, your Achilles calf muscle. So think of it more like a 1-2, 1-2. Like someone's attacking, 1-2 when you get them, right? So go backwards, forwards. Don't go like this kind of thing. Right? You want to think of it backwards, forwards. Backwards, forwards. Yeah. So maybe a slight pause when you go forward. Back, forward, pause. Yeah. Right. Good. So you're going to get this compression in the back leg and like a nice bow here. So don't let the back leg bend, because if you go back like this, then you have to try to straighten the leg, and that takes too long, too much effort. Keep it straight, it's going to be like a spring, right? So imagine somebody's punching, and obviously you can block, but don't worry about the block. Just think, he's going to hit me here, so I'm going to get out and come back again. So I get out, and I can do a jab, as to say, Mike, 1, 2. Just go easy with that. Just practice it. Use your imagination. The guy attacks, get out. Yeah. You do either punch, whatever, Mike, yeah, because it's the same. Good. It's if you think of it like, if you take a pole, like a stick, let's say, like a broomstick, right? And you lift it off the ground and you drop it. You let it slide out of your hand and it drops. What happens? It's going to usually bounce back up again, right? Bounces back. Because it's so stiff and solid, it can't absorb any energy. You do that with your belt, you drop it, what happens? It stays there. Because as it crumbles, it absorbs the energy, right? So you want to think of it as very solid, and the harder the floor, the more it's going to bounce. Like if you put it on a concrete floor and you drop it, it's going to bounce, right back up again, right? So that energy goes down, there's nothing to absorb it, it comes right back up and lifts the stick back up again, right? So that's what's happening with your back leg. If the back leg is loose, you stay there, you collapse. See? If it's loose, it collapses. But if it's solid, it pushes me back again. I'm bouncing back again, right? So that's the kind of thing that you want to think about when you're sparring. Now later on, when you get the feeling, you can always bend the back leg, but now it's stiff. So I can still do the same thing. I can still get that spring from the back leg because the muscles have tightened around the joint, and the joint doesn't move. But if the joint moves, like your knee moves, that's an absorption of the energy, right? Okay, so what I want you to think now, you take a stance, and put your weight forward. So all my weight is on my front leg, but the ball of my foot is up this way. So don't be here. Put the ball of the foot back.
What's up?
Now punch. I'm going to make like a punch and move my body back into this position like this. And I'm going to go 1, 2. I just want you to get the feeling of stretching your back and bowing your leg at the same time. And that will get you to think of going forward. The way of springing forward, yeah? So you just this is an exaggeration, but you know sometimes when you're sparring, you can always put your weight in. If you're trying to get the guy to attack you, and then you can move back, right? So the thing is, all I'm trying to think of right now is weight is forward. That way I can shift it back, and that's going to give me a bounce. 1, 2, yeah. Now it's a big telegraph, but that's okay because it's just teaching you how to use your body. Good, good, yeah, so keep going. So I'm looking for this stretch here, this bow in the shoulder, all right? Yeah, if it's there, you're not gonna get it. So I'm stretching, I'm tilting the pelvis here, right? So I have this, so when I do that, it makes my back leg want to bow. See, from here, when I tuck my pelvis, the back leg bows. So it becomes like a spring. But see how my back is going to, I'm losing this, so I make a punch at the same time.
What's that?
This is a real punch, it just has to be put the arm out. That's the feeling I'm looking for, right? Get this 1, 2, 3. So watch, okay, watch. I'm in this position, like in fighting stance, right? So my weight is on the front leg. Now I'm going to use my right hand, go forward as I go backwards. This is the important part here, this part, and just step. 1, 2. But don't stop there, don't stop. You want to get the bounce to make you go forward. And don't make a strong punch. Stick your arm out for now. Just go this way. See how it makes me bounce forward? Go ahead. That's the idea, yeah. And make sure your weight is forward so you can feel it transfer. Like imagine if there was a spring on the floor, like a big giant spring, and I put my foot on that spring and I'm squashing the spring down. And now, as I push the spring down, I push it down with my body weight this way. As I push it down, it pushes me forward. Right? Trampoline or something, yeah. So start with the weight forward. Forward. You know my weight's forward? Okay? Yeah? Okay? And then as you go back, your hand goes forward. Same time. 1. Yeah, but don't stay. Bounce. Bounce. Yeah. It helps if you let the hand come back. Watch. Let the hand come back as you go forward. Don't. If you leave it there, it feels a bit awkward. 1, 2. And see, with a technique like this, it's kind of slow and obvious, so the other guy picks up on it. But what it does is it gives you a catapulting effect.
What's that?
So it starts off slow, but then all of a sudden you're moving 3 or 4 times faster than you should be moving. So the person's not ready for that. So they see this part, and they're like, what's going on? That's kind of, they pick up on it. But then all of a sudden you're in the guy's face, right? So it's just a trick, but it's a way of using your body weight to get that. And then there are times when you can be moving in, you can be doing like a 1, 2. And it could be a combination or something, and you put that in the middle of the combination. So it gets hidden by the other motions. And you can be on top of somebody before they. Move around, so you move around, you can just attack. So now think of hitting with your left hand or your front hand. So here, I go 1, 2. I'm punching with the other hand as I step. So I'm doing 2 gyakuzukis, right? Step over as you do. That's it, Jake, that was good. But McKenna, yeah, step over though. Let your body go forward. Watch. So the first one, then step in, bang. Then a nice long stance again, hitting with the other hand, right? 1, 2.
Sensei, I guess we could work in that kick step too that we just did to start with. Going back like this.
Yeah.
First,
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Once you understand it, it's yours to do what you want with it. You can do all kinds of things. Yeah, it's a great technique. It's not, if it's the only way you know, then the person will pick up on it after a couple of times. But it's just another tool in the toolbox, where you're faking the guy out. But you fake the guy with your body. You're not faking him with your hands. You fake him with the body, and that's what gets people to react, Or you put them to sleep with it. You can actually go like this kind of motion as you're faking. You can fake the guy, fake it, then you can go. And he doesn't know what's going on, Or you get so used to it that he ignores it, then you get him with it. All right, so see now if you can do, say, 3 punches, watch. So it goes 1, 2, 3, right? You're doing 3 gyakuzukis, you're charging the guy. And it's easier to go forward than it is to go backwards. But very often you're on top of the guy and you get it, right? So you think of this. So I started this way, this motion, right? 1, 2, 3. Try that a few times. I mean, at the worst, you get him with the third one.
What's that?
Very often you get him with 2. Yeah.
Problem with Bob is he doesn't move back.
Yeah, you end up putting a dent in the wall. Gotta watch the bottom doesn't block up your wall.
I have pillows behind him.
Oh, that's good. You got him off Craigslist?
Yeah, I picked him up in the Bronx.
Okay.
I got him for like $75.
That's good. Like 200 or something.
They go new for almost 300.
Is that much now? I haven't looked for a while, yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice, Yana. That's good. So, again, Gyakuzuki. You know what a Gyakuzuki is? Reverse punch? So don't do step over punch. I mean, you're stepping over, but watch. So it's left foot, right hand, and then left foot, right leg. It goes opposite, the opposite. So as you're doing it, it's like you're doing a Gyakuzuki and a Gyakuzuki and a Gyakuzuki. Yeah. I don't know if that's what you're doing, but the last one it looked like you weren't. Right, keep going. Okay, now the thing to remember is the twisting. It's not a twisting motion. So we don't want to go like this. Okay? We tend to do that because we're trying to reach the guy. If the guy's backing up, the tendency is for us to overreach. What it does is it slows it down and puts big gaps in. And if you get a guy who's sharp, what happens is you're going to go 1, 2, and bang, 3. He gets you in between, right? Because the rotation takes so long. You don't get the power from the rotation. You're getting power from this motion, right? So think of it as 1. At the end of my punch, I have to stretch this back. If I don't, I do this. So I stretch this back. Otherwise, I do that. And then I do it on the other side. Once you do 1, the tendency is to do it on the other side because you got the momentum going. So I have to think of going backwards here. backwards and then backwards and then backwards. So I stay more square as opposed to just rotating. And it's actually not very efficient for your top to rotate as your legs are going forward. It's easier for you to think like a locomotive, like an old steam train, right? It should be this motion. Then you don't have to rotate. But people think, well, I have to rotate to get the power. Actually, you don't get the power that way. You can get the power other ways. You can get power that way, but you have a big gap. And part of the rotation, what happens, if the person who you're fighting is a little bit of an angle, what happens is, as you rotate, your punches glance. They glance off the chest. All right? So the person's a little bit this way. When that punch hits, it's already going this way because the shoulders are rotating, and it makes the punch glance off, right? It's okay if you're going the other way, maybe. But the thing is, it's like it takes so long between my punches. So I go like this. I go 1, 2, 3. But if I don't do the rotation, I go 1, 2, 3. It's much faster. Okay? The person can't get out the way. And it's more efficient because you're going forward and you don't want to do this rotation as you go forward. It throws your body out of balance. So the only way you don't go out of balance is by slowing it down. 1, 2, 3. And so that, you're not going to get anybody that way. So let's think about keeping your sternum. Everybody know where your sternum is? You guys know where your sternum is? It's right here. It's a piece of cartilage. It goes right down and the ribs connected to right here, right? I think that's your sternum. If I drew a line, I took a Sharpie and I drew a line on my sternum, that line should point forward. It shouldn't point over there. So when I'm punching, even though I'm stretched forward, my sternum is still straight. See, so that's my sternum. I don't want to do that. Now my sternum is pointing over there. All right? So when I punch with the other hand, I don't want to do that. It needs to be here. So that's what happens when I stretch that shoulder each time. I stay much more square, right? Okay, so imagine as you're doing it now, like the bow of a ship, right? The bow of a ship comes this way. So if you had like a sternum that stuck out like a dog's chest sticks out this way, right? Like a bird. So what you want to do is think of that is going to go forward as I punch. Try to keep it forward, right? So try it again and keep that sternum going forward. Actually, it's called a sternum, right? What's the bow, the front of a ship called?
The bow.
Yeah, or a stern.
That's the back.
Is it?
Yeah. Bow's the front.
That's aft. You have a stern and you have aft.
Yeah, but it's also bow and stern.
Is it? Okay, maybe
Aft, I think, is left, maybe.
There's port and starboard.
Starboard.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I thought a stern was a forward. All right, I have to check on that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, but just imagine this is your sternum, right? Makes sense that a sternum would be in front, but anyway, maybe I'm wrong. All right, anyway, just go ahead, think about that. We'll have to get the Google out and check.
No, I know the front's the bow.
Yeah, well, it's a bow, but it's just another name. There's also a bow on a ship, right? A bow on a tree.
That's a bow.
No, it's a bow. You have a tree with a bow.
B-O-U-G-H?
Yeah, maybe. But it all comes, I think, from the same thing. It's bowing, right?
Yep.
This is also a bow.
Who's that?
It's not the All right, keep going, guys. Keep practicing. So think of going backwards first. I go backwards before I go forwards, right? Get that spring backwards. Backwards. You cover a lot of distance because you got so much spring in it. Yeah, I'm about 10 feet away from the screen right now. Yeah, you cover a lot of distance on it. Now, the thing is you can also start closer and make it faster. You know, if it's far away, you tend to draw it out. So, you know, when you're closer, you can go 1, 2, 3. You can be closer and make it closer to get faster. Yeah. You have to step over. Yeah, step over. Do the punch, but you're not stepping over. No, watch. So you're going 1. There it goes 1, 2. Just like when you walk, so you step over and you change hands when you walk. It's the same thing. So the first one you're here. Second one you step over. And then you step over again and punch. But punch with the opposite side. Yeah, and then step again. Yeah. You go 1. Step again and punch. Step again. 3. That's it. Yeah. Okay, good. So let's leave that for a bit. So you're here, left here. Now I want you to do a Oizuki, but you're going to punch with your front hand. You're going to punch this way. Right? So just do that a few times, get used to the feel of it. Yeah. Now punch with your right hand, okay? No, change your hands. No, watch. Left gear. See, this hand is in front. I punch with that hand. Yeah. Everybody expects you to punch with the other one, right? Yeah. So have your hand like this. Everybody watch my hand. See that motion? Like this little bone is going to go forward. You don't want to be like, you know, this any kind of funny position here. Just like this. As if you want to hit somebody with that motion. So your hand is there. And the other one too. The other one's there too. Both hands like this. All right? Yeah. So which foot's in front, okay? Your left or your right? Put your left in front. Put your left in front. You're in left gear. This is left gear. See, this is left gear. Okay? So now I'm going to punch with this hand. Everybody thinks you're going to punch with this one. You punch with this one. You step over and punch. Yeah. So here. You bring your chest to your hand. Yeah. See how my hand doesn't go back. Right? It doesn't go like this. It stays there. My chest goes to the hand. The hand doesn't move. Yeah. 1, 2. Yeah. You see, once you get good at it, you can delay it. You can go like this. You can keep it there. See, I can keep it there and then switch. So the other guy is like, well, what's he doing? I'm stepping like this, see? I step and then I can switch it at the end. You can do all kinds of different things with it once you got it. But for now, bring the chest to the hand and punch. Yeah. The hand never goes backwards. Yeah. Yeah. So see how you're actually changing the gears, right? So when I'm in left gear, this hip is back, like this. Now I want to get into right gear. Right gear, I'm like this. So the hands always work opposite the hip, right? So as I step over, I'm switching through right gear. Now I'm in left gear on the other side. But anyway, yeah. So just think like you're going to bring your hip past your hand as you step. 1, 2. Good. Okay, so now, let's just say I wanted to do an oizuki, but I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go this stretch, this one, right? 1, 2. It's just an exercise. I'm not saying you're going to use it when you fight. I mean, maybe you can, but just an exercise. So I'm getting that stretch, 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 punch. Okay, change your hands. Not your feet. Those things on the bottom are your feet. These things are your hands, yeah. Don't change your feet. All right, good, now go. So spring, spring and punch. Punch with the right hand. Watch me. See, this is my right hand, this is my hand that's out in front. I go 1, 2. Just trying to teach you how to use the body to get that power. And so it's just another way. Yeah. So McKenna, you're doing it, but watch the shoulder. Don't let that shoulder go back. You try not to let it go back, right? Not bad, not bad. So don't think, yeah, okay, I see what it is. I think a lot of people do this. You think of pulling the hand back. See, so what happens is I go forward, the hand goes back. So it makes the shoulder go back. Don't think of pulling the hand back. Think of putting the shoulder forward. So what it does is it makes my chest go forward. But if I think hand back, it makes me do this. All right, so I turn sideways a little bit. So just think, put your hand like this. Do it with me. Put your hand there. Now, all you're going to do is step over and bring your hand, your chest to your hand. It's not your hand. Don't go back again. Go back in. Your hand is coming back a little bit. Keep it in front and push forward. That's better. So you're not going back as far. Yeah, that's good. It's just a little habit. I did it for years. It took me a long time to break this. I didn't even know I was doing it most of the time. So see, my chest is back, right? But now my chest comes forward. I don't want to do this. See, keep it. We think the hand isn't moving, but it is. 1, 2. Go ahead. Yeah. See, this is something that not a lot of people will teach you, so it's good for you to know how to do it. Because you can really trick somebody. They think you're gonna hit him with this one. See, I'm fighting like this. They think, oh, you're gonna hit him with this one, and you switch and hit him with the other one. Yeah. But the thing is to have power when you do it. Anybody can just go like this. You gotta have power behind it. That's it. Yeah, good. Yeah. McKenna, that was a better one. But change your feet, McKenna. Yeah, now go. It's coming, yeah. Get better. Yeah, Think of keeping that sternum going forward. That's good. It's good that Jake does that. Go ahead. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Now do another one, McKenna, but do it wrong. Jake, do that again. Do that again. Everybody watch for a second, you guys. Everybody watch. So this time, McKenna, as you go forward, pull your shoulder backwards. Go ahead. So you get stuck, right? Okay. So do it again. Now do it the right way and try to push Jake forward when you do it. So push your chest forward to your hand and go. Go right through. That's better, yeah. So if you go to here, it's actually weak. You have no resistance. If you go to here, you have the resistance. You can push it, right? Yeah. Do it again. Do it the right way. Step to it. Yes, that was strong, right? Now do it the wrong way. Jake, do it again. Now do it the wrong way. Pull back as you go forward. Yeah, you get stuck there. Yeah. So just trying to show you don't want to be in this position. Yes, you're going to get a strong punch because you're winding up. But it's going to be You're in a weak position. And if the other person counter punches you, you have no strength yet. Plus, there's a huge gap, right? You can get just as much power without going backwards. So it'd be like if I want to do a foot sweep, I wouldn't want to go foot sweep and punch. I come in, 1, 2. What usually happens is it goes 1, boom, the guy punches you, and then you punch. You come in this way, 1, yeah. 1, 2. So you can get like a 1, 2. Okay, much faster, right? So it's just, it's the same thing, whether it's a kick, a punch, a step, anything. It's all the same stuff. Keep it down. Bang. All right, good. So that's a little bit at a time. I'm bouncing around a little bit. We did a little bit of the springing. We do in this thing. These are things I've been working on for a while. I don't want you guys to lose it. Okay, so the next thing is using the wave. Okay, the wave, some of you have done it before. It's like my body is making a wave from my toes up to my head. So if I wanted to use my head to hit by somebody, I wouldn't want to go like this. I mean, that works. In an emergency, that's what you do. But what I want to try is you go more from here like a, comes from down here. So what I'm doing is I'm going like this. So it goes 1, 2, 3, boom. It's like a bit of a whiplash effect. So you see a snake, like if you have like say a cobra, and he's like this, and he wants to bite something, he wants to strike it. Now, he gets this kind of emotion. Maybe his head doesn't go back, but his body bows. It bows, bang. He gets this whipping effect. Yeah, he bites, right? So snake bite is very fast. It's all muscle, right? So just bang, very fast. Most people can't get their hand out of the way in time. So you want to imagine if you were the snake, it starts down here. Actually, it comes from my heels first, but that's part of my crunch, right? So I'm tilting the pelvis. I'm getting a 1, 2. Yeah. So now do it with as you do it, you're going to step, maybe step with the left leg, or then you can step with your right, and you're going to do a double punch. So watch, it's going to go like this. Right, we've done this before too. So as I go forward, my hands go backwards. 1, 2. I just think of it, 1, 2. So this has to happen. Tilting of the pelvis, right? 1, 2, yeah. When you finish, how do you finish? With a stretch here. Yeah. 1, 2. Yeah. Like somebody who's a basketball player, when they take a shot, I never played basketball, but I watch them. They don't just use their legs. A lot of them, especially if the shot's far away, or a soccer player, when he throws the ball to somebody, the ball goes out, and somebody picks it up and they throw it. They don't throw it this way. They go like this, behind their head. But this goes forward. 1, 2, right? So imagine that's what you're doing when you're shooting the ball, right? Yeah. So now you do the same thing with a punch. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yeah. Yeah. So then you can make it more more practical. It's not going to be such a big motion, big wind up. Instead of going like 1, 2, then eventually it's just going to go from here. I already have this tight. It's just going to go 1, 2. So that actually becomes a punch. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm using my thighs to spring me forward. But if I'm loose in my belly and my back goes back, I don't feel like going forward, right? So I keep this tight by crunching. This is tight now. And then I push from here. 1. Makes me shoot forward, right? 1, 2. Try that. Yep. So make a single punch now. Go single punch. Go 1, 2. You're going to spring with your thighs. Spring. So start like this, guys. Start with your feet parallel to each other. Easy. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Now what you so make it Yana. For now, I mean what you're doing is fine, but it's a little easier if you step with your left leg now and punch with your right hand. Do again. So you start like this, feet parallel, and then step, boom. It's just easier to figure it out, and then later on you can do whatever you want. 1, 2. Yeah, that's it. So see if you can watch yourself sideways, like this way. See, or like this. So this way you can see what you're doing, because when you're doing it forwards, you can't always see the motion. So try some sideways, so you get a profile. Yeah.
It's good for like a good sucker punch. You can build up down here.
Yeah, exactly. They don't see it coming. But it moves your body too, because if you're a certain distance away, the person feels safe. I can't reach you. Right? So normally you would have to step in, and that's the telegraph. If I'm here, I just push from here. He doesn't see it as easily. The telegraph is much lower. It's not so much of a big motion like this. Yeah. Good. 1, 2. Good. Yeah, so make sure the hand comes up nice and high. You don't want to go this way. Bring it up. Yeah, good. So normally when we step, what tends to happen, if you look at anybody that doesn't do martial art or anything like that, you come to step forward. What generally happens is the head will go. So what happens is they use gravity, but they use it by going head first. What we try to do in the martial arts, we try to push this part. This is our center of gravity right here. So we lead with this part. We push this part forward. So watch the telegraph. If I go head first, I go. But also I have to really go far before I lose my balance. This way, I just go there. I don't have to go so far. And it's creating a spring which actually bounces me forward. Whereas this way, it's just like a tree falling in the forest. It's like, right? It's slow. So if you have one foot behind you, then it's easy because you can push with that leg. But what if you have both feet side by side? There's no back leg to push with. So you have to use gravity to go forward. But the way I use it is by pushing here. So I push here, makes me go forward. As opposed to pushing here, right? So we lead with this part. So I'm here, and I go, I've already got this crunched. This is a little tight. So I just push a little bit with my thighs. And I go. It's not as easy to see this as this. And this way is faster. Plus, when I land, I have everything connected. Because I have this little tight here, it's connected. This way, the tendency is for my butt to stick out. And I'm off balance here. Right? So think of it as someone's got you by the belt, and they're going to pull you this way.
Dog seeing the squirrel.
Huh?
You're walking the dog and it sees a squirrel.
Oh, yeah. Boom. Exactly. Yeah. Pulls you. Mm-hmm. Comes out of nowhere. And then when you're in the stance, you can do the same thing. I still move it from here. I don't move this way. Or I don't lift my leg. See, that's so slow. Gravity, I push from here. Push from this part. Much faster, right? Less of a lag. Yeah, good. Keep going, keep going. Another minute or two, guys. So that's the wave I'm talking about. It's like the wave going through the body, like this. The dominoes, each domino has to hit the next domino. So dominoes start on the floor, right, from the ground up. Yep. So if you think about it, if I was to do this wave here, and do it from here, I get this motion, right? I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just trying to exaggerate it. 1, 2. So what am I doing when I do this? I'm doing the wave. Still getting this. So the wave is making me go forward, right? So I'm getting this feeling here of this bowing now. It wants to bow, except that I'm fighting it with my stomach this way. So as I step back, I go 1, 2, right? Or I go 1, 2. It's all the same thing. It's just being done in different ways with different timing. It's all the same stuff. Yeah. Good. All right, good. We'll finish up right there. That's pretty good. So keep practicing it. Keep working on your katas on your own, all right? Do your katas at home. We don't always have the space to do the katas here, but you can go in your backyard and do your katas. All right. And what we're doing here applies a lot of times to kata as well. As you start to understand it, we'll start to apply it to the katas. Your katas will become more dynamic and smoother and more flowing. All right, good. Okay, so finish up. Feet together.
Thank you, Sensei. Feet together. Sensei, you right?
Hey,
Great class.
thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
That was terrific.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.